So this was a long time ago. It was about 12 years ago. In fact, I know the exact date. To be honest, it was August 6th, 2004. And I'll get to why exactly I remember that date. It's unrelated, but the weekend before, me and Laura and my brother, we were all down at our family's camp for the weekend. Had probably a great weekend. I honestly don't remember it, but it was that evening we were taking Laura back to where she lived at the time, her then foster parents, and we were driving her back. I was driving my mom's. It was a Pontiac. It was a Pontiac Grand Am, I think. Nice car, but I'm getting off track. So we're driving them back through Punxsutawney, through my hometown, and if you know Punxsutawney at all, you know there's a five-way intersection. One goes across a bridge, one goes down an alley, a little alley that goes into an extension that goes out into like the backwoods, the farmlands, the sticks, and that's where she lived at the time. So we were at that five-way intersection, and we go down that alley. It's Perry Street, I think. Yeah, is the name, and this was around. It was late in the evening, 11, midnight, 1. I don't know, somewhere around the evening, and we're going pretty slow down that road to the extension, and there's a group of houses on the left side, and on the right side is just a hill with an embankment and just a rock wall, and then it kind of leads through a small tunnel, and then it connects to the woods, the back road that winds through the woods, and we were going slow, and we were just about to get to the tunnel, and I swear this is true, and you can ask Laura and you can ask Matt, they'll back me up on this, but we all saw, standing on the side of the road with the embankment, like right between the curb and the brick wall, there was a girl. She had to be no older than 7, dressed in white, all white. And as we went past, she smiled at us. And for it being the middle of the night, it was like she was glowing, like she had some kind of luminescence to her, and I saw it, and Laura saw it, and Matt saw it. And when we drove by, going past, and Matt looked back, because he was in the passenger seat behind Laura, and he looked back behind him out the window, and he saw nothing. To where he had seen this girl in front of us to the side. When he turned around to look back, nothing. So, a little bit frazzled, the three of us, we took Laura home, and God, Lord knows we weren't going that way again. So we went back the other way, the longer way through the farm country, to get back to where we lived. And yeah, nice that there was a cemetery back there, but the cemetery was you're having a rough night when going through a cemetery is the least creepy thing that happened to you. And Matt, he's in the passenger seat now, and he's kind of freaking out a little bit because we drove past the cemetery as Super Freak by Rick James was playing on the radio, and that's important because that was in tribute because he had passed away that day, August 6th, 2004. So that's how I know the date of when this happened, how I remember it. And it was a couple days, maybe a week later, I was over at Laura's foster parents' place, and I'm sitting there at their dining room table reading the newspaper, and the Punxsy paper, and as I got to the section with the want ads and the personals and that sort of thing, I saw something that made me turn white. And it was a picture of that same girl. It was there in the paper. It was a tribute, it was a memorial space purchased out by the girl's family. It said, in memory of so and so and so. I asked Laura's foster dad about it. I said, "You would, I told him what had happened, and he said that a few years, maybe a year, 2 years prior, uh, the girl that we saw on the road and the girl we saw in the photo was killed by a reckless driver." And yeah, I don't buy too much into the hokey spirit thing, the Ouija boards and all that stuff, but if you ask me if I do believe in ghosts, I will tell you yes. Because I have definitely seen it. A couple years ago, I talked to a coworker. I told this story, and she told me, because I recited the name, and she said what happened afterwards was that the poor mother of that girl lost it. And she would go and she would spend all of her time at the cemetery where they buried the girl, and she would walk up and down the path of the cemetery, and where she would ask anybody who came by if they knew where her daughter was. Where is my daughter? Have you seen my daughter? And she did that for a couple years, maybe, and then she passed away as well from anything. I don't know, just the grief, the heartache, possibly. And from what I understand, she's still there, looking for her daughter. Happy Halloween.